Hey guys, we are in our free online coaching classes for the JAM examination, and this video will be the lecture 14 in this series. And the topic is the geological work of running water, and the book which I referred is The Principles of Geomorphology by William D. Thornbury, General Geology by V. Radhakrishnan. Welcome to my channel Success Guru and myself Panchanadam, and let's get into the heading. The geological work of running water. The running water plays an important role in grading the earth's surface through its erosion as well as deposition. They do their work of sculpturing the earth excellently than any other geological agent. The apparent observation of a river may not be impressive, but a close observation with reference to the time reveals the immense work and the capacity to bring out the gradation. The water flow from a higher level to a lower level, but the direction of the flow is determined by the local condition and may flow in any direction. While they flow, they erode sites and flow and acquire material and they transport these materials. This load actually includes the material supplied through the process of weathering as well as mass wasting. The river as a geological agent. The river develops extensive landform through its erosion as well as deposition, so it is called as a geological agent. Its works on the earth's surface may be studied under the following heading, that is the erosion, transportation and the deposition. The river erosion. The wearing down of land, that is the erosion by a river, is carried directly through flowing water and indirectly through the material that they carry. The stream eroding tools are rocky materials of different sizes. Their availability and allotment of a stream are through different processes. The stream erosion is accomplished through the following process. The first one is the corrosion or abrasion. The corrosion is the process in which the bedrock is worn out through rubbing action. The particles abrade the bedrock and thus the erosion is carried on. Due to continuous abrasion, the surface of the bedrock is modified with smooth, concave and convex surfaces. The abrasion helps with solution develops the potholes on the valley soil. The next one is the corrosion. That is, the corrosion describes the process of removal of material by dissolution of soluble materials. This dissolved material is transported in solution and it aids to the corrosion. The next one is the impact action, that is the large particles dashes against the wall and floor of the river, and this action dislodges material. But this is possible only when the grains are of sand size and are above, because the clay and silt size particles are held firm with each other. The next one is the hydraulic action. That is, the hydraulic action is the removal of loose materials by moving water, and this is done by the pressure developed due to the flowage of water. And the last one is the attrition, and attrition is the wear and tear of transporting rock particles through mutual rubbing, grinding and dashing. And we had already discussed this same heading in the wind as a geomorphic agent. The stream erosion. The rate of erosion is a function of velocity of the river, its volume, the kind of bedrock and the supply of the tool. The increase in velocity, volume and load may increase erosion. If the bedrock is soft, then the erosion is more. On the other hand, if the stream is overloaded, then it starts deposits instead of eroding. There is a limit for a maximum vertical erosion by a river beyond which it cannot degrade its valley, and this limit of maximum downward erosion of a river is called as the base level of erosion, or simply a base level. The temporary base level is the water level in a lake, and the ultimate base level is the ocean or a sea. The river erosional features. The characteristics of river erosion is the stream erosion develops ridge and valleys, and the valley is actually V in shape. The pebbles of the stream are rounded because of their prolonged rolling on the bedrock. The bedrock shows numerous pits and holes produced by grinding as well as solution action. A valley. This is the very first feature that is formed by the stream erosion. A valley is a longitudinal depression whose cross section is actually V in shape. In the development of valley, there are actually three processes. They are the valley deepening, the valley widening, and the valley lengthening. The valley deepening is due to the bedrock erosion, and when the rate of vertical erosion of the bedrock is greater, than the lateral erosion on the banks. The widening is due to the greater lateral erosion on the banks, and the valley lengthening is due to the headward erosion. Thus, a river valley is developed by the simultaneous erosion of its bed and the banks. And this has been associated by weathering, rain, and gravity. However, the steepness of the valley wall is a function of velocity of the water, rock type, climate, elevation, etc. The following are some of the erosional features that is formed by the river. The first one is the river piracy or river capture. The acquisition of water of one drainage basin by the river on another drainage basin is called as the river piracy or river capture. You can see in this image there is a small stream that is running from here, and due to extension of the headward erosion, this stream may catch other drainage basin stream, and the water is drained through this stream, and this portion is left as dry, and this process is called river piracy or river capture. The next one is the waterfall, that is the plunging down of water over a cliff is termed as the waterfall. And the next one is actually the rapids, that is the movement of water over a steep slope is called as the rapids. The next one is the cascade. If the water flows over step-like terrace is called as the cascade. So the plunging down of water from a cliff is the waterfall. The movement of water over a steep slope is called the rapid, and the movement of water over the step-like feature is called the cascade. The next one is the water gap, that is when a stream or river crosses a hill by cutting a narrow valley is called as a water gap. You can see here there is a ridge, and this ridge has been cut by a river in a narrow valley, and this is called as a water gap. And if this is dry, then it is called as a wind gap, that you can see in this image, the wind gap. The next one is the wadis, that is the temporary water flowing gullies whose walls are steep, and they form the wadis. The next one is the pothole, that is a smaller depression found on the rock of the stream, enlarges by grinding action of the pebbles, and that forms the potholes. The next one is the plunge pool, that is a large sized pothole usually found on the bottom of the waterfall, that is the plunge pool. The next one is the river terraces. The step-like level surface cut by the stream erosion are called the river terraces. They are broadly categorized into two types, that is the paired terraces and the unpaired terraces. The terraces equal in number and level carved by on both bank of the river is called as the paired terraces. The number and level of a terrace are unequal on both sides of the river is called as the unpaired terraces, and these unpaired terraces are generally found in meandering stage of a river. The meander. Actually, at old stage, what happens? The river got deflected from a straight line, and it takes a round about a path. Right? The lateral cutting actually takes place, and there is a erosion in the outer side and deposition on the inner side of the valley, and this forms a sinus path of a river, and such a sinus movement of a river valley is called as the meander. The next one is the cutoff, that is the shortcut path that takes place by the river through meander is called as the cutoff. In this, what happens? The meandering sinus side has been cut down due to at the time of the flood that happens in the river. The next one is the oxbow lake, that is after the development of cutoff, what happens? This cutted portion which is look like a oxbow, if filled with water, then it is called as an oxbow lake. The next one is the pediment, that is the broad plain of bedrock, gently inclined, exposed due to the sheet wash of the running water, and that forms the pediments. The next one is the peneplain, which is the ultimate product of erosion. This forms a low relief landform that is actually near the base level with a little gradient. The next one is the Barnhards. Actually, generally this forms in a interstream region with the steep sides and a round top. You can see in this image here, there is a round top and steep side. These are the residual hills surrounded by pediments. If smaller size, then it is called as monadnocks. In Germany, the same feature is called as Inselbergs. The next one is the Mesa. That is a flat-topped, isolated plateau-like landform is called as a mesa. That you can see in this image here. This is the mesa, and this is a butte, which is in smaller in size, just like mesa. The next one is the hogback. That is a long, narrow series of hill with a narrow crest and a steep slope with nearly equal inclination on both sides. You can see in this image this is a narrow steep hill with a actually steep sides which is almost equal in both sides. If one side is gently dipping and other side is steeply dipping, then it is called as cuesta. Okay, so this is the difference between hogback and cuesta. In hogback you can see both the sides are dipping in almost same equal angle. In cuesta what happens, one side it will be gentle and the other side is actually steep. The next one is the method of transportation of the river. The particle transportation by stream, right? The first method is the suspension. In this method what happens, the particles travel suspended in water, and this is due to the buoyancy of the water. You can see here the particle that is say smaller in size that floats on the surface of the water, and that is called as the suspension. The next one is the rolling, that is pebbles are rolled along the bedrock, and this is also known as the traction. So such a rolling action of rocks over the bedrock of the stream is called as rolling or traction. The next one is the solution. That is the solution, solid materials and are dissolved in water and are transported in the solution state along the water. The last one is the saltation, that is the movement of particles in jumps is termed as saltation. And the source of these sediments are the weathering process, disintegration of rocks and produce loose fragments. Sheet wash and the tributary carry these fragments to the mainstream, in addition to gravity slides of rock and caving of bank supply load of the stream. So these are the different sources of transporting materials. The last one, the delta, the triangular shaped feature of a stream deposition that is subaqueous in origin, is called as a delta. The velocity of stream reduced very much on entering a stagnant water, like a sea or lake. This reduction involves settle out of load of the stream. The stream so far flowing in a channel on entering in a stagnant water distributes itself widely, and that deposits the sediment, a form of similar to the Greek word delta. The next one is the point bar. These are deposits formed inside a meander as well as in the river mouth. You can see here, this is the river channel. There is a deposit here, and this portion of deposit is called as the point bar. The next one is the natural levees, and these are the banks developed by the stream. During flood time, what happens? The water level increases, and this water deposits the sediment on the side of the river. And during when there is no flood, what happens, the water runs within the channel, and there is a embankment that is formed by the deposits of this same stream, and these are called the natural levees. The next one is the alluvial fan. When a stream moves down high relief to low relief, what happens, the velocity of the water reduced suddenly, and that fall in the velocity leads to the deposition of sediments as it is on the slope or near the slope of the hill, and these are called the alluvial fan. And if the slope is so steep, then this type of deposit is called as alluvial cones. The floodplain, a broad flat plain parallel to the river channel that is formed by the lateral deposition of the stream, is called as the floodplain. The back swamp and the Yazoo River. The waterlogged region beyond the natural levees is called as the back swamp. That you can see here, these are the back swamps that is beyond the natural levees. And the Yazoo River is one That is a tributary that flows parallel to the main stream through the swamps that you can see here. This is the Yazoo River. The next one is the braided stream. That is a single stream splits into many tributaries and then finally joins once again to form a single stream. Is called as a braided stream. You can see here this is the braided stream, and all this central portion is called as the point bar. You can see here there is a single point bar, so there is no any braiding of stream takes place. But here what happens, the same stream deposits lots of sediment in the middle of the valley, and when there is very less water, what happens, this stream has been diverged from the central point, and that forms the braided river. I think this is sufficient for this heading, and if you still have any doubt you can just ask it in the comment section that we can do in a next video. I have grouped my videos according to the category that you can check in my playlist. You can connect with us by mail, Facebook and Instagram, and these are the links. You can support us by like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.